For an update, I'm Joe Kraus. The softball team's two-game winning streak was snapped yesterday as they lost to Amherst in their home finale, 7-0. This came a day after the team's 7-4 rally against Newport, where Rachel Krauzak threw a four-hitter and struck out 8. In yesterday's game, the Lady Jacks recorded just 2 hits, but Savannah Hayner did well. The sophomore threw all 7 innings, giving up 4 runs on 6 hits, along with 8 strikeouts. The team is now 4-14 on the season, heading into postseason play. Meanwhile, the Lake Jackson Cross team wrapped up their regular season Wednesday night with their 7-6 loss to Lockport. Alyssa Kissel scored her 10th goal of the season. Their postseason run begins on Monday. Meanwhile, the guys team is heading into the postseason on a high note with their 10-3 win over Wilson. Dowd Martin scored 6 times in the victory. The team will take on Sweet Home in the Class B bracket next Friday. Our guest this morning comes from the NTJV baseball team to their first winning season in nearly 5 years, an 11-5 record and 9-5 in NFL play. Please welcome the first JV coach to make an appearance on our show, Dan Hannon. Dan, thanks for coming on.
Oh, Joe, my pleasure. Glad to be breaking barriers as the first JV coach. It's very exciting.
Okay, so how did you get started in sports, most notably baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I started as a kid, just like most people. Played t-ball, played Little League football and all that. As far as baseball, my dad was a huge Mets fan, so I became a huge Mets fan. So staying up late with him, watching guys like Robin Ventura, Mike Piazza when I was little, always was a great thing for me. And then, moving on, I developed getting more just for the game as far as strategies and coaching tactics. And then, obviously, now I'm a coach.
You're a Ken West alum, but what made you want to join the NT culture, would you say?
Yeah, I was a Blue Devil through and through till a couple months ago. I was not a fan of Lumberjacks when I played or, coaching over at Kenmore West either. It's a different kind of culture over here. But boy, these guys, including your brother and the varsity team, they really changed my whole perspective on North Tonawanda. Since subbing here, it's been great. I came over here just as an opportunity as far as, jobs hopefully in the future for phys ed, just to get my foot in the door as a coach, but I've loved every second of it.
Cool. So like we said earlier, the JV baseball team had a great season. What would you say was the reason for the team's success?
There's a lot to do. A lot to do has to do with just the talent that came back. I had to do a lot of managing. I didn't have to do a lot of coaching. What helped a lot was Coach Turvey and the varsity team in the beginning when we'd be together in the gym. I can't believe how much we got accomplished in the gym setting. I mean, our first time outside was our first game, so that says a lot of how much we got accomplished beforehand. We started off rough out of the gate. We lost 3 of our first 4, but after talking to the team, I said some things in a not so nice tone to them one game, and then they responded. They finished up winning 10 of 12. We won our last 6 by a combined score of 79-25, so we ended on the high note. The sophomores really bought in. They're ready to move up. That core of guys, Dodowich, LaBarber, Smoka, Pauline, all those guys, they played great toward the end. Our freshmen stepped up toward the end, Max Jeswald, Messler, Holmes, a bunch of guys. And I know I'm leaving some guys out. I apologize to the team, but they really bought in. It was great.
Well, that was our 5-minute bell that just went off a little while ago. Mind you, today is a day 1, I believe, but actually, we'll just keep going. So while what you just said about the sophomores,
It's a day 6.
I'm sorry, it's a day 6 today. But like you just said about the sophomores, they led the team in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advice for them as they head up to varsity level?
Just keep that winning attitude. I told them that talk I was, mentioned earlier. There's with the instability in the program over the past decade or so, winning has gotten away from the program. And I said this group has a chance to be special. They're not only a good group of players, they're a good group of guys, along with those juniors and underclassmen on the varsity coming back. They should expect to win every time they touch the field, be it home or away. That's the swagger they have to carry with themselves. So just keep doing what you're doing, keep working hard, and Lumberjack baseball's future is certainly bright.
While you were in college, I actually found out about this the other day. You went to Cortland, you actually have the shirt on today.
Yeah.
You hosted Buckets and Dan's Sportsland.
SUNY Cortland's #1 sports radio show, Joe.
All their episodes are on YouTube, and if you get a chance, be sure to check them out. Shout out to Buckets O'Hare, by the way. But you're also a huge Bills and Sabres fan because you grew up around here. So we have to ask you, what do you think about the teams heading into their seasons?
Well, the Sabres are certainly at the end of their rebuild, and a guy like Eichel and hopefully Mike Babcock as the coach will help. But I think that they're in for one more year of the young guys starting to mature, and then they should be taken off. I don't think Tim Murray's done this offseason making moves. Hopefully we trade that second first-round pick for an established player. But I love the Sabres' future. As far as the Bills' future, they certainly had all the right things on paper. Different way of rebuilding around everything but the quarterback. But I think that weapons like McCoy and Harvin, as long as you just dump it to them, let them do their thing. With that defense, they should be okay.
Okay, cool. Well, there's a couple of last notes here. NHL playoffs this weekend. Eastern Conference Finals. Rangers taking on the Lightning, and in the West, the Blackhawks take on the Ducks. Bisons won over Toledo last night, 6-4, and the USA team is moving on to play Switzerland in the World Semis. They won 3-1 over Switzerland the other day. That's Dan Hannon, everybody. Coach, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thanks for watching another week of the Sports Corner. We'll be back in just a moment. Have a great weekend, everybody.